Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a bit of a treat. We have got a map that absolutely pops. If this was actually made by one of the very top creators, and we could go for a whole list of names, but if this was made by one of the top creators, this would be one of the maps of the year. It's really nicely designed. What lets it down? Well, it just lacks a little bit of polish. And so therefore, I think a lot of you are going to like this one. I genuinely do. There will be a few bits that you won't like about it. So easily fixed, but overall a lot of effort's gone to today's map, so be nice in the comments. But before we do any commenting, I'd like you to do a little bit of liking. That's right, hitting that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day, so thanks for your support. Today's map is Cosenza Mediterranean Coast by vvilku. I think it's a vvilku because there's a double V in there, not a W. Not a W. Oh no. Let's have a look at that start square. Looks pretty useful to me. Lots of things going on in that start square. What about the terrain heights across the map? It's not a perfectly flat map, but it's workable. Very, very workable. You'll see when we fly over. Let's have a look at those resources. Resources splashed all over. And again, very usable. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Network extensions too. There's a surface rock pack collection even. Al's Mediterranean temperate theme is today's theme of choice. And it does say to use the European colour correction. What, the vanilla one? Not sure. Not sure what they meant by that, so I've gone with a realistic 1.2. Even then, this wouldn't be my choice of luck for this map, but it's the go-to luck that we use when we don't know what luck to use. So we're using this one. I wouldn't use this one. I'd use one of Al's other. It's got so many great lucks as Al. I would use one of the Al's ones, but I'm not going to start making decisions, you know, because then it's my choice of map, not the creator's map. Anyway, our first intersection, these are just a little bit too clunky, okay? We have got gouged ravines going on here. And I'm not going to do a big fix job here. But if I just grab the softening tool, move the brush up a little bit and soften it down a little bit like that. And just take a little bit of the edge off. This isn't going to fix it, but this is going to improve it with just a few brush strokes. I would basically rebuild the intersection completely from scratch personally. Also, part of the issue is it's all elevated. The roads are 100% elevated and they just look weird. Elevated roads at ground level or in cuttings like you see there. We'll see more of that in a minute as well as we go around the corner. I think I've probably done enough here, don't you think? Yeah. It's not fixed, but already it's starting to look a little bit more workable, yeah? But yeah, the roads all being elevated at ground level is what is making that look super clunky, along with these sharp edge cliffs there. Okay, let's yeah, there you go, elevated all the way. Why are we elevated here? No reason to be elevated here. Next intersection is again very clunky, another elevated section with a little bit of a traffic flow issue there. Not the biggest traffic, it is moving. And here you've got some tunnels going through here to connect it all together, and they are just awkward. They are just awkward. Probably about the worst part of the map, actually, I'd say, this intersection here. A little bit of terrain glitching through the road there as well. I don't think you'll find anything as bad as that intersection on the entire map. So we've seen that now. You'll see now we've got some nice switchbacks here. And what I like about these is we have used the elevated section to use that as like barriers, safety barriers to stop you from sliding off the road when you get to the end, onto the type ends. That's a nice little touch. It doesn't need to be elevated, but that is a nice touch. And we've got a rock that's just slightly encroaching onto the highway here, not actually into the lane itself, so not a big problem. But it wouldn't be there, would it, that rock? Not on top of the road. I can't see how that would have suddenly appeared on top of the road. They would have built the road around it or moved the rock. So I would have moved the rock. Moving down here, we have got a jetty. Let's have a little look at the jetty. It's a fun place for the jetty. It could be clipped a little bit more into the landscape, but that's not too bad. Not too bad. Again, I don't think it's a realistic place for the jetty, not at the convergence of two rivers there, but I like it. Aesthetically, it's quite interesting. In fact, the whole thing with this map is it is really busy. It's very, very nicely designed, and although it doesn't have the polish of a 5-star map or even a top 4-star map, it's kind of attractive. There's always something to grab your eye and say, what's this, what's that, without it looking stupid. Because sometimes you get that with the over detailed maps where you go, what is going on here? But this is not one of those maps. All the detailing really does feel very relevant. Okay, let's have a look at today's asset of the day. It's Armesto, Thiers Corner #1, which means there might be more coming, by Armesto, one of the top creators. What I love about this is, look at his restaurant. You can almost read the menu. Also loving the tiling just outside the front door. That is really nice as well. Anyway, turning my back on the fish restaurant just for a few moments. Factoids, because factoids. On this day, November the 20th, in 1947, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip were married in Westminster Abbey. Among their wedding presents were a racehorse from the Aga Khan and a handmade piece of lace from Mahatma Gandhi. It doesn't actually say if Mahatma Gandhi actually made the handmade piece of lace or not, but I'm assuming probably not. He probably bought it from the market and then sent it second class post or something. No, I'm sure he was at the wedding. I'm certain he was at the wedding, or at least was invited to the wedding. Why wouldn't you invite Gandhi to the wedding? Civilization jokes aside. There you go. Armesto Thiers Corner #1. By Armesto, today's asset of the day. Right, let's head back to a road off of these dirt tracks. Yes, this road. This seems a little bit low. I think it's probably donut proof. Not entirely sure. I suspect it is. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt on that one. And then we'll head on up to what is another lovely set of switchbacks. What I like about these is they're kind of offset. Okay, so we've got all these rocks around here as well, which is an interesting design again. And look how they're offset as they're climbing up the side of the hill. That is really very tidy. And again, a top creator would have, I don't even know if a top creator would have done that. That's excellent work. And again, one of these clunky looking intersections with everything elevated where it doesn't really need to be elevated through these cuttings, and it's just a little bit awkward and ugly looking. And then as we're heading off towards the fog here, these tunnel entrances are not the best, really. They're not. Make your way up there, won't you? Right. Anyway, that then goes off, comes out that way and into the fog over there. Now, somewhere over here, we've got a rail line. Let's have a little look at the rail line down here. It emerges, edge of map, through a tunnel, and then out here. And yeah, now, this is a sandy area, obviously. Not entirely sold on this as being a location for the railway line. I think it's probably been reinforced or something, because on sand, it's not really a strong securing base. But who am I to say? Who am I to say? All told, there are some issues with the map that I'm not even going to mention today. Like, you may notice some missing catenary posts, or as I've been told by one of you lovely creators, commenters, portals these posts are called, apparently. I'll try to remember that. But yes, a few missing portals and so forth, and a couple too close together. And there are quite a few things that I would normally mention in the show. I don't think they're entirely relevant with this map. Yes, they are still going to mark the map down at the end without me even mentioning them. But on a map like this, it's, well, clearly not the very top echelon. But it stands out on its own. It looks great. The design The absolute design of this is amazing, and all credit for that. I think it was based in Italy as well, Mediterranean, probably southern Italy, I don't know. It's not quite as, in my mind, not quite as polished as the Tuscany map we did way back, but even so, I think a few of you might just be tempted to take this one on. Anyway, this then goes into a tunnel and off to the fog, which means it's time for the intermission.
Want to add a custom hedge maze to your park but don't have the time to build one? Why not try BonBonB's modular hedge maze set? This guide will show you how to select and use the right units. Click the information button below.
And so back to Cosenza, Mediterranean coast by vvilku. Shipping routes. We have a couple. We have this one that loops around on itself and comes back out over there. And then we have another one. It's a dead end one, so you won't see any shipping coming up this one. I say dead end, it does have a loop on it. But it does go under and through a very low bridge here, which means shipping clipping. Okay, but then we have this loop around here, which is quite nice. It enables you to get to most locations and around the middle island. Again, a middle island in there just adds a little bit of interest to the map again. Now, water flow, we've got lots of little rivers like this. They all feed down into a main river. None of them have super strong water flow, but there is enough water flow going on for those of you that want and need water flow to be able to get on and do something with this map. I don't think it's going to be a huge city map, but some small towns would be lovely on this one. Now, there's so much to look at on this map. We're not going to try and look at everything. You may have seen a prehistoric stone ring there. Let's look at some of the other bits. Like out here, we've got a volcano, a extinct volcano by the looks of it. Now, for me, this could do with a little bit more detailing, relying entirely on the theme there. Some of the those rocks that we've seen, part of we subscribe to rocks, so we may as well use them. And maybe a little bit of foliage here and there. Like on this little island here, we've got foliage on this island, and that makes that island pop a little bit. Then we've got all sorts of little areas. Like here, we've got a little village on the go here. Again, yes, you probably just want to delete the village, but in the meanwhile, I think it adds interest to the area. It can inspire you into how you want to actually work around and build on this map. Here we've got some very Italian style little farms going on down here, little farmhouses, and it's just up there on the edges in the hills. It looks very nice indeed. What we've got going on down here, Park Life Rock. Yeah, there's a few of these dotted around here and there. Don't need Park Life, it's part of the patch. And let's come over this way a little bit, see what we can find over here. Got some very interesting rivers going on. Like here, this is an interesting one again. Just a little bit more. We've got plenty of rocks down here, a little bit of foliage down here just to make the river pop a little bit. And also we've got the dry river in the wet season, looks like it will fill up with water. I'm not entirely sure that that dry river would actually contain the water though. Down here where you can see the trees drop away in the bank, I think it may flood out there a little bit. But you know, it's not going to get marked down this particular map on that alone, because there's plenty of other things that have probably brought it down to that point already. It's not entirely flat, but it's not stupidly hilly. So you'll have to work with the hills, maybe flatten out some land just to start building in places here and there. What more have we got? Oh, we've got everybody's favourite factory. Yeah, we've got a few of these dotted around. And I'll say the whole map is just full of life and interest. And for me, that's a big winner. Anyway, what do you think of this map, though? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your votes really do count. We use them at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be in the top 10? Only you can decide. For me, aesthetically, it's kind of a high 3, low 4. The initial visual is high 3, but I think the overall map design pushes it into that 4-star. Only just, but I think it pops. 4 stars. Detailing, it's middly. SimCity does a lot of detailing, but it's not polished enough to get the 4th star, I'm afraid. So 3 stars for detail. Then we'll have a look at gameplay potential. This is a tricky one. I think there's a lot of potential on this map, and also it struggles a bit at the same time because of it's so busy. I think I'm going to go with the 4 stars. I think a lot of you will want to have a go and play it on a map, if not this one, a map just like this one. And so I'm going to go 4 stars for gameplay potential. Now, 434 sometimes gets the seal of approval. Not going to get it today from me. Cosenza, Mediterranean Coast by vvilku. It's good. I think it just needs a little bit more polish. Just a little bit, not much, a little bit more polish, and that would get definitely a seal of approval. So good work, vvilku. Very, very good work. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Old map on the screen now if you want to go and have a little vote on that one. And we'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. And a little shout out to all my friends, my BonBonB buddies over on Patreon. Thank you guys. You are the best. I'll be back tomorrow. See you soon.